Hello students, hope all of you are fine. This is your English lesson. Today we are going to read Unit 5, Dreaming of the Dawn Wall from Oxford Modern English Book 8. So we start our lesson. This is page number 64 from your book. Words to know. Agile, to be able to move quickly and easily. Attributes, features or qualities of a person or thing. Belay, a rope, bush, or other object such as metal loops that a running rope can be put round to secure a hold. Endure, to patiently put up with something painful or difficult. Excel, to be exceptionally good at something. Fertile, soil or land that is capable of producing good crop growth. Granite, a very hard igneous rock often used in building. Matterhorn, a mountain in the Alps that spans the border between Switzerland and Italy. Monolith, a single massive stone or rock. Mont Blanc, the highest mountain in Europe, part of the Alps that spans the border between France and Italy. Notorious, well known, or famous for something bad. Pitch, climbers divide long climbs into sections called pitches. Pitches can vary in length, scale, climb, sheer, very steep, almost or actually perpendicular, significant, very important, noteworthy, United Nations World Heritage Site, a place that is listed by UNESCO as of special cultural or physical significance. Now come to the reading. California stretches down the west coast of America and contains a huge range of geographic features as well as a long coastline. California contains the dry Mojave Desert, lots of fertile farmland, massive mountains, and deep valleys. California is also home to the tallest trees in the world, the coast redwood, and the oldest tree in the world, the the Bristol cone pine. A large area in the Sierra Nevada, Spanish for the snow-covered mountain range, is Yosemite National Park. Yosemite is a United Nations World Heritage Site that was first recognized as a significant place and protected by law in 1864. Yosemite is known worldwide and millions of tourists visit the waterfalls, forests and valleys every year. It is a dream destination for rock climbers who wish to scale the valley walls. The awe-inspiring rock formations are incredible to see and many climbers long to visit and get up close to these towering granite giants. The most famous of the Yosemite rock formations are the two monoliths, Half Dome and El Capitan. El Capitan, these huge granite monsters rise up from the valley floor and pose a challenge to even the most experienced climbers. Rock climbing is an activity that many people enjoy. There are different ways and levels of climbing. Some people like to scramble. Scramble make one's way quickly across or up rocks as part of a walk, whereas others take the activity much more seriously. Some use special equipment such as ropes, ladders, metal clips called carabiner, and belays to help them climb. This is known as aid climbing. Others use very little equipment, preferring to free climb. Free climbing is climbing without much equipment, using only the body to walk out a route up or across the rock face. Free climbers use a safety rope that is attached below them to save them if they fall off. One person who excels in all types of climbing and is very well respected among serious climbers is Tommy Caldwell. Climbers need to be fit and strong. They need to be flexible and agile. They must be able to endure pain and physical hardship while keeping calm and focused. Tommy has all of these attributes. Born in America in 1978, Tommy began climbing at a young age with his father. Soon it became clear that the young boy had a talent, and his father helped him to develop it by encouraging him and taking him on climbing trips. When Tommy was 14, they went to Europe and climbed Mont Blanc and the Matterhorn. When he was 16, Tommy signed up for a climbing competition. He surprised a lot of people by winning the competition and becoming the national champion. Over the next few years, Tommy trained hard and made his mark in the climbing world. Tommy enjoys climbing in Yosemite and he has tried many of the routes up El Capitan. The 3,000-foot cliff is so sheer that from a distance it looks like a smooth surface. Free climbers struggle to find edges and ledges narrow surfaces in the rock to hold on to. Hence, out of the 100 or so routes up Al Capitan, only 13 have been successfully free climbed. Of these, the most difficult is called the Dawn Wall. Tommy's dream was to free climb the whole route in one trip. In 2000, Tommy and the three other climbers were in Kyrgyzstan climbing in the Pamir Eli mountain range when they were shot at and then captured by Uzbek, Uzbekistani rebels. After 6 days of being held hostage, Tommy managed to overpower a guard and get free. The four climbers had to trek 29 kilometers before they found help. The suffering and fear they had experienced had a deep effect on Tommy and the other climbers. Tommy has been reported and saying that the experience made him realize that if he could cope with being held hostage, he could cope with anything. Then in 2001, disaster struck again. Tommy was working with a table saw when he had an accident and chopped off the top of his index finger. Despite the pain, he acted quickly and put the piece of his finger in ice. When he reached the hospital, the doctors were able to sew his finger back together. However, they told Tommy that it would never recover fully. Tommy knew that having 9 fingers was a serious problem for a professional climber, but he also knew that he would not be able to climb well if one of his fingers could not grip properly. He asked the doctors to remove the tip and, with his father, worked on making his hands stronger than ever before. Many people thought that his climbing career was over. It wasn't. Much to everyone's surprise, Tommy's climbing technique continued to improve. He was mentally and physically strong. He knew that he could withstand hunger, thirst, and pain. He could keep calm when faced with fear, danger, or difficulty. If he came face to face with a challenge, he dealt head on, with it head on. Today, Tommy Caldwell trains every day. He runs in the mountains for 12 miles. He trains his muscles with weights and he practices his climbing on a specially built wall in his house. In 2014, he began to focus his time and effort on his long time goal of climbing the Dawn Wall. Long climbs are divided into pitches that are roughly the length of a standard climbing rope. Tommy worked with his climbing partner Kevin Jorgensen to map out the pitches on the Dawn Wall. They planned a route of 32 pitches. Two of these, 14 and 15, are some of the most difficult climbs in the world. One requires the climber to balance carefully on fingertips and toes and spring sideways to catch and hold on to small bit of rock. For a few milliseconds, the climber is high above the earth, jumping from one part of a cliff face to another. Tommy and Kevin began their climb on 27 December 2014. They slept in tents that were hung from the cliff face. Their friends helped them by providing a daily supply of water and lots of support. Sometimes, if it wasn't cloudy or cool enough for them to climb in the daytime, they had to climb at night. For the first week, the pair made good progress, and at the notorious, at the notorious pitch 15, Tommy climbed it and moved on, but Kevin didn't. He fell. The next day he tried again, but it wasn't to be. For 10 days, Kevin was stuck on pitch 15. His fingers bled, his muscles ached, and his spirits were low. Tommy did not want to go too far ahead without Kevin, but it looked like he might have to. Then on the 19th of January, Kevin made it through pitch 15. The crew on the ground who were supporting the climbers celebrated and Kevin's spirits lifted. Soon the two men were back together, free climbing where no one had free climbed before. On 14th January 2015, Tommy Caldwell and Kevin Jorgensen became the first people to free climb up the dawn wall of El Capitan. No one had ever managed to free climb up the dawn wall before. In order to understand just how steep and difficult the climb is, we can compare it to another 3,000-foot route on El Capitan, Slathy Wall. Tommy Caldwell free climbed all the way to the top of Slathy Wall, tracked down to the bottom, and climbed up a different way. This amazing feat took him 24 hours. The climb up the Dawn Wall had taken nearly 19 days. Now come to the exercises. A. Comprehension. Answer the following questions. A. Why is Yosemite a popular place for tourists? Answer. Yosemite is a popular place for tourists because it is a UN World Heritage Site containing walking trails, waterfalls, forests, valleys, awe-inspiring rock formations. It is a beautiful, unspoiled place. B. What are the names of the two climbers? Answer. Tommy Caldwell and Kevin Jorgensen. See, how old was Tommy Caldwell when he achieved his dream of climbing the Dawn Wall? Answer. Tommy Caldwell was 36 years old when he achieved his dream of climbing the Dawn Wall. D. What is a monolith? Answer. A monolith is single massive rock or stone. E. What do we learn about El Capitan? Answer. We learn that El Capitan is huge and composed of granite. We learn that is poses a challenge for even the most experienced climbers. It has a 3,000-foot sheer cliff that looks like a smooth surface from a distance. There are more than 100 routes up El Capitan, but only 13 have been successfully free climbed. The most difficult of these is called the Dawn Wall, and other route is called Salafi Wall. F. What makes the Dawn Wall so difficult to free climb? Answer. The Dawn Wall is so difficult to free climb because it is so sheer with few holds and ledges. One pitch is especially difficult because the climber has to balance carefully on fingertips and toes and spring sideways to catch and hold on to a small bit of a rock. G. Why did Caldwell ask the doctors to take off the top of his finger? Answer. Caldwell asked the doctors to take off the top of his finger because after an accident they said it would never fully recover. He knew that he would not be able to climb properly if one of his fingers could not grip well. H. What skills do you need to be a successful climber? Answer. To be a successful climber, you need to be fit and strong and flexible and agile. They must be able to endure pain and physical hardship while keeping calm and focused. I. What are the main differences between free climbing and aid climbing? Answer. Aid climbers use special equipment such as ropes, ladder, metal clips called metal clips called carabiners and belayers to help them climb. Free climbers use very little equipment, preferring to only use the body to walk out a route up or access the rock face. Free climbers use a safety rope that is attached below them to save them if they fall off. J. What part of speech is the phrase dealt with it head on? What does it mean? Answer. The phrase dealt with it head on is an adverbial phrase meaning in a direct way. The following question is more difficult. Discuss it first. K. What impact did the experience of being held hostage have on Tommy Caldwell? Think of positive and negative things. Answer. The suffering and fear he experienced when being held hostage had a deep negative effect on Tommy Caldwell. However, it also made him realize that if he could cope with being held hostage, where he coped with hunger, thirst, and pain, and remained calm when faced with danger or difficulty, then he could cope with anything. It made him mentally and physically stronger, which helped him become a better climber. To answer the following with reference to context, A. Over the next few years, Tommy trained hard and made his mark in the climbing world. 1. What had Tommy Caldwell achieved before this? Answer. Tommy Caldwell had won a climbing competition and become the national champion in the USA. 2. What training did Caldwell undertake? Answer. He climbed with his father. At 14, he climbed Mont Blanc and the Matterhorn in Europe. 3. What other events helped Caldwell develop his climbing ability? Answer. Overcoming the injury to his finger and being held hostage. 4. What is meant by made his mark? Answer. Made his mark means he had been successful and was being recognized for that success. B. He asked the doctors to remove the tape and, with the help of his father, worked on making his hands stronger than ever before. 1. In what other ways did Tommy Caldwell's father help him? Answer. He recognized his talent and took him climbing and camping and encouraging him. 2. Why did Tommy Caldwell need to make his hands stronger than ever before? Answer. Tommy Caldwell needed to make his hands stronger than ever before to overcome the loss of his finger. C. For 10 days, Kevin was stuck on pitch 15. 1. Who is Kevin? Answer. Kevin Jackson is Tommy's friend and climbing partner. Together they climbed the dawn wall. 2. What does Kevin was stuck on mean? Answer. It means that he could not complete that part of the route. 3. What were the consequences of getting stuck for 10 days? Answer. His fingers bled, his muscles ached, and his spirits were low. It seemed as if Caldwell would need to go on without him. B. Working with words. Match the idioms in list A with the meanings in list B. A. To be at hand. To be very near. B. To take something in hand. To take charge of it, manage it. C. To get out of hand. To become out of control. D. To have time, money in hand. To have it spare, left over to be used. E. To keep one's hand in. To keep in practice. F. To have one's hands full. To have a lot of work. G. To give someone a good hand to applaud someone for a good performance. H. To be a handful, to be difficult to control. I. To be an old hand, to be experienced at something. J. To get the upper hand of something, someone, to win an advantage over it or him. 2. Use the idioms in list A in sentences of your own. A. To be at hand. My help or assistance is always at hand for you. Just make me one call. B. To make something in hand. Her mother is so innocent that she is not able to take this matter in hand. C. To get out of hand. The petrol prices have gotten out of hand these days. D. To have time, money in hand. My children had much time on their hand last summer break, so I decided to enroll them in some swimming classes. E. To keep one's hand in. Jane insisted me on keeping my hand in the organization even though I have no investment. F. To have one's hand full. She will have her hands full with the new family. G. To give someone a good hand. Could you please give me a hand to lift the metal box? H. To be a handful. The boy picked up a handful of stones and started throwing on stray dog. I. To be an old hand. She is an old hand and dealing with the notorious customers. J. To get the upper hand of something or someone. He wanted to get the upper hand in business, so he worked hard for it day and night. 3. California has a huge range of geographic features. Californians like to say that their state has a little bit of everything, and this may well be true. Match the clues to their answers and then label the map on the next page with words from the list of answers. Discuss your answers with a classmate and ask each other questions about the geography of California. Where California's great redwood trees are found? Forests. Southernmost major city in California, San Diego. Second deepest lake in the USA by the eastern border of California, Lake Tahoe. Area where most crops are grown, fertile farmland. National park in California covering 747 956 7 Lake 47,956 acres with many mountains including Alp Capitan is Yosemite National Park. Lowest, hottest, driest areas in the USA. Death Valley, western border of the state, 840 miles of coastline. Bayside, Californian city famous for the Golden Gate Bridge. San Francisco, dry, arid area that is the least used part of California. Mojave Desert, city home of Hollywood, Los Angeles. 400-mile mountain range, Sianwado. See learning about language. 1. Show where the following words may be hyphenated. Sometimes, sometimes. Exaggerate, exaggerate, or exaggerate. Prolong, prolong. Bicycle, bicycle. Turnip, turnip. Accident, accident, accident. Prevent, prevent, prevent. 90, 90. Grammar, grammar. English, English. Turkey, turkey. Philosophical, philosophical. Catastrophe, catastrophe. Misuse, misuse. Tremendous, tremendous. Hardly, hardly. 2. Make negatives of the following adjectives by adding in, im, ir, or ill. Practical, impractical. Regular, irregular. Responsible, irresponsible. Legal, illegal. Mortal, immortal. Possible, impossible. Consistent, inconsistent or inconsistent. Religious, irreligious. Sufficient, insufficient. Flexible, inflexible. Legal, illegal. Partial, impartial. Direct, indirect. Adequate, inadequate. Literate, illiterate. Personal, impersonal. Mobile, immobile. Balance, imbalance. Mature, immature. Definite, indefinite. Thanks for listening. For new videos, don't forget to subscribe my channel. And if you like my videos, please share and like.